So we're continuing work on the X-Wing using the reference designs. We're not making a super detailed model. Let's have a go at doing the wings today. So the wings, we've got 4 wings and I'm going to treat them as all being the same. So that will just make things easier. So I'm going to make sure I'm not clicked on anything, add a new mesh, and I'm going to add a cube. So for this, I'm just going to scale it down. I'm just going to bring it up here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a mirror modifier as it is. And I'm going to make sure it's mirrored in the Y plane again, like I did last time. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into, if I move it now, nothing will happen because it's the mirror axis is mirrored within the object. So if I go into edit mode and I select, well, all the cubes selected, but if I then move the cube in edit mode, you should see that it's going to move with respect to its center of origin. So in this way we can create two wings. Now I don't actually want 2 wings, I want 4 wings. So I'm just going to move them. I don't want to move too far away from the center. And you'll see why in a minute. That one probably could do with being a bit higher. And that one could do with being a bit higher. So these are my 2 wings. I'm going to also mirror it in the Z-axis as well. So I'm just going to select all by pressing A and moving it up, and now you can see that this is the center and we've actually got 4 pieces now. If I want to move the whole object, I have to go into object mode and then I can move this down like this. So we know that half of it is going to be above and half of it is below. Let's deal with 1 piece at a time. Now, I think it's too thick. So let's click on the object, click on the top plane. Let's make it thinner. Let's say it's that thick. I don't know the exact thickness. It's probably a little bit too thick, but it doesn't really matter too much. Let's click on this back edge and bring this in. Let's look from above, and if you want to actually look from the top view, you can go camera viewport top, and you can actually then see it from the top view exactly. And this is essential for really accurate work. So I'm just getting an idea of roughly where these wings are. So it's too long as well. So let's click on there and then move that in. So it comes to basically the end of the bit there. So let's go into top view again. So viewport top, or number 7 on your keypad, and we can adjust this one. So around about there is the actual wing, and then the same for the front. Press number 7 and we could line that up there. I'm happy with the front, but the back, obviously we need to have this come out further and be slopey. So there are different ways of doing this, and it's worth thinking about the different ways of doing it. So I think what I'm going to do that's the simplest is so I'm going to extrude backwards like that. So that will be nearly the back of the wing, like this. And then what we're going to do is put in 2 loop cuts. Now these, I'm just going to hide the ship. And while I'm here, I'm just going to click on my object and call this wing, just so I know. It'll be easier to find later. I'm just going to click on these wing pieces and we could hide the side view. So clicking on these wing pieces here, I'm going to delete them because these faces are going to be inside the ship. Well, I should have moved it before I deleted it, but we can select the edges. And if you want to select a whole edge loop, you can press Alt. So I'm just going to put them inside the ship. They're fine there. And as you probably noticed from here, this is not symmetrical. It's not lining up. So before I go any further, I'm going to go back into object mode, and I'm going to recenter that. I should never have moved it away from the center, but that looks as though that's fine. So these wings are now inside the ship, and that won't matter too much. Let's just put them in a little bit. So yeah, that's okay. So now we need to extend them on this side a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. So looking at this little notch, I'm going to use the loop cut tool. So I'm going to click and drag to there, click and drag to there, and click and drag to there. So what we can then do is we can select this face here. Oops. The loop cut tool, you do have to come off of it. I always forget to do that. We can actually drag this face. If I drag that face, it's going to pull it. So I'm going to actually put another loop cut in here. There we go. So let's select this face and drag it in with the red axis like this. Let's go to the top view with 7 and just check it's roughly in the right place. Yeah, that looks okay. And then we want this edge here to be sloped. So I'm going to do something that looks a bit drastic, but it's quite common to do this. So if I get this edge here and delete that edge, it'll completely go. And then what I'm going to do as well is this vertex and this vertex, I'm going to completely delete those as well. So I know that looks like, oh my god, what have you done? You've lost half of the wing. Well, what we can do is we've got all the geometry we need. So I'm going to click on, and the order doesn't matter as such. So I'm going to click on them 3 vertices and press F. And then I'm going to click on this vertex, this corner vertex, and this vertex and press F. And then I'm going to click on this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and press F. And that's actually rebuilt the geometry for that object. That's okay. Yeah, that looks okay. This is a bit squarer here, so you could, you could get this edge and pull it a bit nearer if you wanted to. This isn't ideal having this thin triangle. We really ought to fix that, but for now it'll be fine. So now we've got this, we need to select it all with A. And then I'm going to bring the drawings back and the model, and then we're going to rotate the whole thing around this red axis. So let's rotate it. So it's about the right angle, but it's a bit high. So it needs actually, it's in the right place, but it's just, it needs to be moved away from the center. So I'm going to just raise the whole object a bit. and try that again. So they need to be spaced out more, these wings. That's closer. That's much closer. In fact, that's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And I'm just looking. That does not look like that one is in the center. Let me just hide the ship. And let me just hide the wings. And let me just... I'm just looking to see whether this reference line is halfway between those wings, because I don't think that it is. They're quite close together, but you can see the middle of this ship isn't quite right. It's the back one that's wrong. So I'm going to move this back one up so that it's in line with this bit here. So if you look at where it changes colour and sticks out, it should be there. And I haven't used that reference image yet. So now it looks as though it's in the middle. So let me go back. And as you do this, you'll notice like the smallest little error in your sort of alignment of your reference material will stop it working properly. So now we've got that, let's have a look. That does look better and better all the time. It's starting to get there. So in the next episode, we'll add some more details and maybe look at the cockpit and try and get the rest of it built, but it's starting to take shape. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.